Hey everybody, welcome back to another adventure. If you're new here, my name's Dave, and today we are out here in Pendleton, Oregon. I wanted to come down here again. I haven't been here in a long while, but I figured I'd show you guys around this town here. It is pretty neat. It's got a lot of old historic buildings here. And it also features a an underground city, or an underground portion of the city here that you can take tours of. We're not going to be able to do that today, but we wouldn't be able to show. I wouldn't be able to show you it anyway because it's you can't do any camera footage down here. But something to keep in mind if you guys are ever come down here. But this is Pendleton, Oregon, sitting right in front of the Roundup here, which is the big old famous rodeo thing that they do down here in Pendleton. It's pretty neat. I haven't been to it myself, but I've drove by here plenty of times. I had to work down here once a long time ago, so drove by this every day and looked at it on the way to the warehouse that I used to manage. So I'm quite familiar with this place. So yeah, I figured show you guys a bit of this if you've never been here. This is in Oregon, by the way. It's about 5 hours from my house, so it was quite the journey to get here, but I was looking forward to doing this. I've been looking forward to doing some place outside of Washington for a while, and figured, hey, why not come down here and show you guys around. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to hook you guys up here. I don't have the gimbal, but I have this little mount here. I'll show you. I have this little mount that I can get you up close and personal with the window. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to mount you guys up, and hopefully this will work okay. And then we'll go try to walk around too at some point later. You guys can barely see me now. Flip you guys around. And there you guys can see the Pendleton Roundup, the rodeo, the famous rodeo grounds here. We're in the parking lot of the visitor center thing, I think. But we're right outside of downtown Pendleton. I'll show you the Roundup building here that we're right up next to. It says it's Happy Canyon on the front here. I'm sure this is like the visitor center or something. The museum for this place is like right around back. But I've been here for probably about a good half an hour, tooling around trying to find a good place to get a photo for the cover, or the thing you guys see when you click on the video, the thumbnail. I had to think of the word there. But this is Dorian Avenue, and it takes you downtown. Went into 4th. Driving my little car. Fortunately, I can't find my gimbal. I think I left it in the truck, which is unfortunate because I'm 5 hours from home and I can't go get it. So, so unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit shaky. I don't know how. Hopefully, it's not too terrible for you guys to see. better position. This is really cool. I'm not quite sure. I believe this town was established in the late the 1880s. But it's got really cool brick architecture down here downtown. And this is about the start of it right here. See the church, the First Presbyterian Church here. Got a whole bunch of buildings all around here. This is basically downtown. Got the pleasure of having to work down here at the Walmart a long time ago when I used to work at Walmart, and got to remodel the place. So I've gotten first-hand experience with how to drive around down here. So I'm pretty familiar with this town. So many cool old buildings down here. We'll do kind of a cursory one over, and then probably get out and walk around a little bit and check out downtown down here. I'm gonna drive you guys through town so you guys can get a feel of this place. It's a pretty neat little place. There's a donut place here, which was pretty cool. It was pretty good, but it was a little spendy from what I remember. This was like 10 years ago too, so there's a little water park for the kids there. We're on the eastern side of Pendleton now, here. They used to have a Fran's Bakery over here on this side, and it's closed now. I believe it was open when I worked here last. This was about 2018 I was here, or 2017. Yeah, it was 2017 I worked down here. It's a pretty neat place. There's a lot of good, cool views to see. There's a spot where you could see pretty much the whole entire town if you go outside of town on I-84. Really cool views. It's just like farmland all the way around us. I used to have to drive this way all the time for a good 2 months because I had to drive to Walla Walla every day to manage a warehouse. So I drove by a lot of this place over and over and over again. So pretty familiar with it. So this way goes back to Washington there, Walla Walla. You take 11 north. And this is like the outside of town here. We'll turn around and we'll go back. And I saw a cool old building that we'll go and take a look at. It's like a old wool factory. It was built like in the early 1900s. We'll take a look at this you can go out of town this way, and you can go to I-84, which goes east. We'll turn around here. There's also a little piece about the historic trail here in Pendleton. It says, this location marks a travel corridor for the Plateau tribes, moving seasonally from the Columbia River to the Blue Mountains. In 1811, members of the Astor Party, under the leadership of Wilson Price Hunt, camped here on their way west. They traded with the Cayuse people for horses. The Umatilla River abounded with beaver and salmon then. Oregon Trail migrations began passing this way in 1841. In 1868, the emerging town of Pendleton was named for George Hunt Pendleton, U.S. Senator from Ohio. So there's a little bit about the town there, too. You guys can see down there's a little river, and this way goes out of town going north there, down below. There's an eagle nest over here too. You can see there's babies jumping around in the nest. Let's see if I can get it there. Kind of, maybe not. You'll just have to trust me. There's some eagles over here. I don't think it's an eagle, or I don't remember what those are called, but it's a big old bird. Okay. Right back into the sun. It is 86 degrees here in Pendleton right now. It's normally pretty hot here in the summertime. We're just 2 days before summer officially starts. But pretty much summer now. You can smell it in the air and everything already. There's a little hamburger place here. I haven't tried that. Drove by it I don't know how many times, and I never ended up trying it. Because each time I drove by, there was a whole bunch of people there. But if you guys ever come here, you can try it for yourself and tell me how it is. So I think we'll take the next road. That'll pop us out where the wool factory is here. We'll go down this road here, 14th. As you can see the wool factory from here. Yeah, that's cool. You have like a train signal here to tell you not to turn. As you guys can see there's Pendleton Woolen Mills. And the building top says that it was built in 1909. We could swing in here and kind of look. So here is the store. It is 9 a.m. to p.m. every day, I think it says. Of course, it's 7, so we're, yeah, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Free mill tours. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So this is the Woolen Mills store. Pretty cool. I don't know. This, I don't think it goes out anymore, does it? I guess it does. Well, that's cool. Might have to come back sometime and check that out, because that might be pretty cool. Alright, so we'll go back downtown here. Court Street, which is the main drag. Guess I could probably go. I'm not sure. I'll wait. It's not like we're in a big hurry, are we? Alright, so now we're on the other side of downtown over here. And we're coming into a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. This is the cool side here. A whole bunch of old brick buildings here, turn of the century, maybe a little bit older than turn of the century. There's a cool restaurant down here that I once went here on my birthday. And we'll see it here in a minute. Pretty neat. Man, this is so cool down here. So there you can see over on the left-hand side is Hamley's. It's like a steakhouse. Went here once on my birthday, and the place is pretty neat inside. Got myself some free pie on my birthday. We're going back towards the back towards the rodeo arena now. We'll turn around and we'll go back downtown and find somewhere to park, and we can walk around downtown a little bit and gawk at all these cool buildings down there. There's some cool little places to eat down here. I've been to a few of them. This Big John's Hometown Pizza, I've been to that. Had some pretty decent sized pizza there. There's a place on the hill on the other side of town. If you keep going straight and you pass some lights and go up the hill, there's a place called Abby's Pizza up on the hill on the other side. My goodness, I might go to this after we're done. After we're done here, I might go to Abby's. Abby's is pretty rare to find. There's only a couple places. It's a chain, but it's only in a few places. This was like the first place I found it was here. There is also I think there is one in Wenatchee, Washington, too. I haven't tried that one, but I've tried this one a couple times, and each time I've loved it. It's great. There's a place called Roosters over on the far south end of town. It's pretty good too. And of course, there's like a Jack in the Box. There's a KFC here. There's a lot of different things here. Plus the steakhouse downtown and all sorts of stuff. Right here is where their court is, on the city hall, and the court place is over here. So I'll try to find a place down here to park at, and we can go walk around downtown because it's pretty neat. Can park here. Yeah. In the most crooked spot ever. Hi, Kelly. How's it going? Okay, so we are stopped. So you're gonna have to, I'll try to keep you guys as stable as I can. It's gonna be handheld today, because I don't have the gimbal like I was saying. Check that out. There's the old City Hall building, or it might still be the current City Hall. It is marked as such. Pretty cool brick building there. 1908 on the front facade. Got all these buildings probably are later. Yeah, it is a beautiful day down here. I said earlier it's 86 degrees, but you might have just joined, Kelly. It is 86 degrees today here. And it smells like fries. That is the current smell. Yeah, it is pretty toasty. Centennial Park. Cool little park here. Built in 1980. Was built with contributions of time and money from Pendleton citizens in 1980. Pretty cool. I don't know what to do first. Maybe we'll go this way. Flowers maintained by Pendleton Downtown Association. I mean, I think we could walk this way, I guess. Loop around. Got a nice breeze going on right now. It's not terrible. Yeah, it is a little sizable town. It's not small by any means there. Yeah, 17,000. There's the post office and courthouse. That's pretty cool. It says John F. Kilkenny, U.S. Post Office and Courthouse. Interesting. See the back side of some of these buildings here. I think maybe we'll go down here. Yeah, that is It definitely does remind you of the West, the Old West, for sure. There's like a, I wonder if that's a helicopter platform up there or what that is. Does it, if anybody knows, let me know. That's interesting. Oh, it's the very top of that building. It's a little open area here with parking. See the back side of some of these buildings. Pretty neat. Again, I apologize for the shaky camera. Trying to switch hands, keep my hands from going dead on me. That is a cool building. Looks like an old apartment building. It's kind of got like a little weird split in the center of it. You guys see that? That's kind of interesting. Looks like there was a window on the back side of that back half, and they concreted it in there. That's cool. They could really help a brother out by putting the putting the dates on the top of these buildings. Pretty cool. It's like we found the speakeasy. Oh, they've got their little thing. Flying G speakeasy. Interesting. I just drove by that a little while ago there, Kelly. You missed a little section of the driving tour that I did. Yeah, I remember there used to be a thing. It was closed, so we couldn't. So we just kind of drove by it. It was kind of neat looking. The building was built in 1908. Pretty cool. I wonder if we should just cross here and go down. I think that's what we'll do. Okay. Well, there's a fish there. Interesting. Why is there fish next to the drain here? That's a curious little find there. It's like we found the back door to the hat company over here. It says keep your head up and your hat on. Of course, that's always a good idea. Well, there's a walking trail across from us there where all the kids are hanging out. The River Parkway. Looks like there's an old castle over there on the other side of the river from us. Kids. Check that out. That's a cool building. It's like Spanish style. There's another little park over here too. I think we're gonna have to cross here and go up and look at this building here. Look at that. It's like a castle-y style building. There's a bunch of like old ones up there. We have to cross the river to get to though. But we're like on the upper side of downtown here. You can see the whole entire downtown segment here. Oh, the neighborhood cat's chilling over here too. Birds are checking them out. This is Brownfield Park. And this statue is of Don Requa. He was the Pendleton High School football coach for 36 years. So they memorialized him in a plaque here. Pretty neat. This is a cool little spot. Interesting. Bowman's studio, I guess this is. He was a photographer here. It says, this imaginative building was built to resemble a castle, complete with crenellations on the parapet. It was built in 1905 by W.S. Bowman, a turn-of-the-century photographer, for use as his studio along with retail and residential space. This stone structure replaced a wooden frame building that Bowman had used for a studio previously. After the castle was built, Bowman worked out of the first floor from 1905 to 2005. The main floor housed a photography studio, and the last photographer retired in 2005. Two osteopathic doctors, Gilbert Holt and Oral Hutchins, operated the Riverside Maternity Hospital in the building from 1941 to 1965. The hospital was managed by Phoebe Dykstra. The parapet bears the inscription W.S. Bowman. Walter Bowman was born in Umatilla County on February 8th, 1865. In 1887, he became a photographer under the tutelage of T.C. Ward. In 1890, Bowman bought out Ward and commenced operating his own gallery. In 1896, he married Elizabeth M. Carroll. W.S. Bowman died in 1938. His first cousin, Oliver Pearl Bowman, built the Bowman Hotel at the south end of Main Street in 1905 as well. In 1904, the Holt estate sold the building for $25,000 to Robert P. McKenzie, a local optometrist. There's what the building used to look like. And now it's this cool castle-like building. That's neat. We'll get a better look at this. Oh, I guess they give tours of this, and you can call the number to get a tour. So if you guys are ever here and are interested in this, that's how you get a tour of this. It looks like you can stay here too. That's cool. This would be a neat little spot to stay at. It overlooks the river here. And you've got like a nice little like wraparound patio here to like enjoy the river. We'll get a little further away shot here of it. This thing's pretty big. You guys can see the Umatilla River. This is. Check out all these old houses up here. That is so cool. It's like they all just line this boulevard here, like fancy old Victorian styles. That is really neat. I'm not big about walking up hills, but I can walk down flat spots all day. Wow, that is something else, man. For a portrait studio, man, this guy had ample freaking space in here. Wow. Just right on the edge of downtown here. Let's walk up a little bit. There's this cool First Christian church up here. And it's like a castle too. It's like Castle Boulevard here. It looks like they've done some work to the road too, like repaved it. There's the Arts Center. Now it looks like this was the Carnegie Building. We can walk up closer and read about it. But from here I can see that it says Carnegie Building on the little sign. Look at the little horse statue here. That's interesting. Oh, look at this. There's a shot of old downtown. Here's the view from this spot in 1926. That's of this spot here. Just looking straight down this road. That's so cool. Look at that building's still exactly how it looked in 1926. And you can't really see the Bowman building there. It's still kind of blocked by trees as it is today. This is how it looked in 1910. Wow, look at that. 1930. Wow, that is so cool. I'm guessing that probably Mr. Bowman took this picture. Man, that's cool that somebody had the foresight to take the picture of this from this spot. You can read about the Carnegie Building here. It is currently used as the Pendleton Center for the Arts. This structure was built with $25,000 of endowment money from the Carnegie Foundation, plus funds from the county for use as the Umatilla County Library. The architect was Folger Johnson of Portland, Oregon. The columned entrance and iron gates in the recessed entry are capped by a formal pediment. Originally, there was a children's library and a small performance theater in the basement. When the city moved the library in to the new City Hall complex on Southwest Dorian in '96, the Arts Council of Pendleton took on the $1.8 million restoration and ADA upgrade, creating a first-rate multi-venue arts facility for community members and visitors. And there's a picture of here, like an old picture. Pretty neat. Again, the castle church over here. That is so cool. You can see downtown perfectly from here. That is neat. Oh, I missed your message, Kelly. No, I'm not on vacation. I'm just off. I just have weekends off, so I figured this would be a nice, fun day trip excursion to come out here and check this out. Might have to drive up this road here at some point later on after we're done. This is so neat. I don't think I've ever actually walked downtown here before, so this is kind of a first for me. I've always just kind of driven around through here. That's actually nice. You can see we're in the shade, and the wind's blowing, so it's a nice little breeze. And it's actually doesn't feel like it's too terribly uncomfortable here, so. I wonder if all these buildings are going to have little things on it to tell you about it, or if it's just kind of the really special ones down here. Oh, wow. They've got a photo of downtown circa 1940. See if I can zoom in on it for you guys. Check that out. that had been pretty neat. All the neon lights and stuff. I guess 40 is probably a little bit before the neon light era. I think the 50s were more of the neon light type thing. But that pretty cool though. All of these little snapshots. This is the Faith Center here. Oh, looks like maybe we've got some things. Oh, it's just, this was a dentist's office here. I don't know if they're still there or not. Looking across the way, there is a highly rated steak place here across the street. I don't know how to say that. I think it's like Semiyati's. I believe it's pretty highly ranked on Google Maps. We can walk across the street. There's some cool stuff here. I guess it is open, but they have the shades drawn. Interesting. You can see back across the other side there. There's just all sorts of cool stuff down here. This building here was built in 1881. It's called the Carefree Building. I imagine this is probably one of the oldest buildings here. haven't really seen anything, any other like signs to tell you how old some of these are. I'm sure they were built around the same time. We'll go this way. You see Hamley's Steakhouse here. It is quite large. There's a pottery place here. All right, Kelly, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Now that's Hamley's there. Like I said, I've been there before. It is pretty freaking large inside. And it's a pretty neat place to eat. I had steak there once. Check out some of the pottery here. Custom private label dinnerware. Interesting. There's a boot maker here. Cool. Probably been here quite a long time. Stormtrooper Fitness. Yeah, man, this Hamley's is so freaking huge. Takes up this whole entire block. The building itself looks like it was built in 1900. Pretty cool. Check out these buildings here. This stretch. Be nice to have some murals on these. Oh, looks like we might actually get one way up here. Look at the work on this. It's wood, but like looks like ornate wood, or maybe that's concrete. But that's just, that is so cool though. The paint finish makes it kind of look like it's wood. Okay, so here's what this is. This is the Spain block. Constructed in 1887. This is another building built and owned by Jeremiah Despain, early Pendleton settler, which was later added onto by E.J. Murphy. This building's second story remains much as it looked like when it was constructed. Originally, the second floor housed the Knights of Columbus Hall and was later converted to offices. Many early day lawyers began in offices located in this building and the Judd block next door. The twin eastern half of the building, which E.J. Murphy had built, was demolished in the 1950s to make way for Mr. Rayleigh's modern building design. The modern section was originally designed to be a 5-story building, but was only completed to the second floor. The more modern section was very innovative for the time in Pendleton. The roof of the building held a pond of water which was used to help air condition the building. Thus, the Rayleigh building was one of the first office buildings in Pendleton to offer central air conditioning. The Main Street Cowboys, who widely promote the Pendleton Roundup, occupy the second story. There's a hotel. Think we can still get?
Wait.
I don't want to wait. You tell me what to do.
Wait. Wait. Wait.
Wait, wait, wait. Don't tell me how to live my life, crosswalk. Pretty cool. Man, this is so neat. Might end up just crossing here and going across, because we're pretty far down, I think, now towards the end of the downtown section here. But pretty cool. I think we can walk here. Seeing as it's a one-way street, so. It's a nice old brick building here. Looks like the front face of this is trying to be remodeled a bit there. Look at these gates. That's pretty neat. Here's another old mural they put on here of Hamleys just right across the street. That is so cool. So we're right in front of Hamley's now, and let me tell you, you can smell the steak. The steak and whatever else they're cooking. Smells pretty good. And I guess this isn't just a steakhouse. They sell a whole bunch of different things. And here's a bit about the building itself. This 75 by 100 foot building was built by B.F. Wren for use as commercial space on the first floor, while the second floor housed the Elks Lodge for a few years. It has classical arched, double-hung 1/1 windows with two crests at the parapet level. In 1905, J.J. Hamley moved to Pendleton and bought the building and opened his saddle and tack store. He remained in charge of the company until his death in 1939. Sons Lester and John and grandson David kept the business going for many years. Hamley made and sold cowboy clothing and gear and was a major employer in manufacturing concern in Pendleton. Producing some of the finest saddles in the West, Hamley and Company operated by the Hamley family until 1980, when they sold their remaining interest and name. The building is now under new owners who have renovated the old building and restored luster to the business, carrying on the Hamley name and tradition that has existed in this location for over 100 years. There's an old photo of the building here too. And the tack store there. This side of it is closed here. This is their Western wear shop. Pretty cool looking though. Hey, look, there's a photo of John Wayne in there. Wouldn't be a Western town without a photo of John Wayne. I know you can't see it with the building in there. That's, trust me. Now you can see the steak. Here's part of it there. I don't think this is not part of the restaurant. I guess it's the Hamley Cafe. The actual steakhouse saloon's right over there. Oh man, smells making me hungry. Here's a little thingy of stuff to do here. So there are some 21 restaurants, tavern, and tasting rooms, from historic watering holes to exceptional dining here. You can see the map for locations and brief descriptions. There's 30 traditional artisan and unique retail shops in downtown area, from saddles and spirits to blankets and beer. Downtown Pendleton is the place to find some real treasures. There's a trail here called the Bronze Trail. And I guess it's just a bunch of bronze statues that tell the story of Pendleton's history. There's a bunch of museums, including the one shown here, which I believe that I've been to. That is, I think, is the Underground Museum. There's an arts gallery, as we saw up the road, and the River Parkway, which we've walked by too. And it's just got a bunch of places here to check out. This is such a cool place. Still getting the steak smell, man. They be cooking some steak. Here are Hamleys. See, it actually shows that since 1883 up there, I know you guys can't really see it, but it says Hamley and Company since 1883. We got a cowboy here, George Fletcher, I believe this is. Right in front of this nice brick building here. Looks like this may be a more modern building. There's a bit about George Fletcher. He was the second place world bronc riding champion in 1911. He was inducted into the Roundup Hall of Fame, National Cowboy Hall of Fame, National Cowboys of Color Hall of Fame. And he came here to Pendleton in 1900 at the age of 10 with his mother and stepfather. His home life was unstable, and the hardships faced by African Americans at that time were difficult to surmount. George was taken under the wing of a local minister, Reverend Corneliuson, at the Tuatilla Presbyterian Church on the Umatilla Indian Reservation east of Pendleton. Friends from the tribes helped him learn how to manage, train, and work with horses. He was the only African American to compete in the first Pendleton Roundup in 1910. George Fletcher was a competitor for the World Bronc Riding Championship in 1911 in the Roundup competition. Although John Spain was declared the winner, many of the fans believe Fletcher should have won first place. The first place prize of a $350 saddle went to John Spain. Sheriff Till Taylor, a Roundup director at the time, took Fletcher's black cowboy hat and cut it into small bits and sold them to the crowd. He raised enough money for Fletcher to buy a $350 saddle like the first place prize champion, with an additional $350 to spare. George Fletcher was declared the people's champion. Fletcher competed in rodeos until the outbreak of World War I, when he was drafted into service. He was sent to France as part of the SOS unit of the 815 Pioneer Infantry. Following an injury during the war, he walked with a limp and retired from rodeo competition. Fletcher went to work for various ranches and was a familiar face in Pendleton for the rest of his life. Interesting. Maker's Vault. Well, ain't no Maker's doing anything here now. Looks like an old depository here. This used to be a bank, but it isn't anymore. It says 7 Gen Wellness. So we're back where we started here. Right over here is the car. If you guys want, we can go and walk down this, or we could drive down this section again, and we can go up and look at those cool houses on the hill too. That might actually be the play here, because my sciatic's talking to me right now. It says, hey, you need to sit down. So maybe we'll just go and do that, guys. There's the car. We're back at the car. Okay. Well, that was a fun little excursion downtown there. Nice little walk around. Well, as I said, we'll go wrap around and come back up this main street and go up the hill and check out some of those cool old Victorian style houses that were on the hill that we saw. Hope everybody's enjoying our adventure. If you are, hit that like button for me. Okay. Alright, so we'll hit a side street here and go back down. I'm trying to get some people out of the way so I can get into this other lane. Got a guy riding a bike here. Okay. So we'll hit this side street here. There's a Monte Carlo for sale over here. And it's orange. Look at that. Okay. look, look. Going over railroad tracks. I think we might hit another side street and come up the actual... get down near the end of here. Okay. That is the weirdest. That is the weirdest stop thing that I've ever seen here. Must be because it's a railroad crossing. Okay. All right. Never actually went down some of these side streets, so this is actually kind of interesting. Might find something cool. Alright, so here's the main drag. Just outside of downtown. There is an underground museum, and it is down over here behind this brick building off to our left. I went to it a long time ago. Me and a friend went and did the underground tour. It is really, really cool. There's a lot of good info. Something you guys should look up and check out if you're ever here. Woo! Man, this place is so neat with all the brick buildings and everything. Such a treat. Just all of the old history stuff. You can like imagine what it was like with all the photos that we saw. You can just imagine how jumping this place must have been throughout all the eras of history that have gone by. It's just so cool to just sit and think about what it must have been like in the early days here. Gonna go look at all the cool Victorian style houses over here on the hill that we chose not to walk up. Whoa. Whoa. Look at that pretty blue one there. Blue and gold. There is actually a thing telling about it too. Look at, man, there's a bunch of stuff up here. Just explore off of the path here too. Boy, we're starting to get into the newer development here. We'll spin around and go back down the other way so you guys can see some of this stuff. This dude, that was pretty sweet. I think we'll go up to the top here. I've never actually been up to the top. This looks pretty fancy up here. And the top. And a nothing. Wheat fields. Pretty fancy up here though. That's for sure. I'm just gonna stick this thing in third. Wow, look at this view. That's especially how it looks to you guys on camera. This view is really neat. You can see the plains way off in the distance there. Oh, I should show you guys the lookout spot where you can see the whole entire town off the interstate. Because, dude, it is freaking awesome. So maybe we'll go do that real quick when we get back down here. To show you guys the awesome casino down here, where I won $300 and then lost it all. Wow, look at this, man. Look at all these freaking old houses. There's like a good couple 3 or 4 blocks off of this road here. Northwest Despain. I think I want to tool through here like at least a couple blocks. Some cool houses here. Looks like one just sold. There's another, what the? You guys, you gotta see this. That is the fanciest playground I think I've ever seen. That's cool. See, guys, when you wander around, you find some of the most interesting stuff. This is Pioneer Park Playground. This kid's got a cool playground. Man, where was this stuff at when we were kids? We just got the ghetto playground with a freaking swing on it. All the kids now, they got all these cool stuff. All this cool stuff. Pardon my English speaking right now. Yeah, you can really tell this is like the old section of town. Man. can see them like everywhere, like Victorian style, like classical, turn of the century stuff here. And then you start to go up the hill here and you see more modern stuff. And then we'll start seeing fancy stuff at the top because everybody that's got money is up here. Rough road, man. And $600,000 houses. There's a park here. Interesting. Man. The villa's up on the hill. They've definitely got the view, that's for sure. Here we go again down the hill. This is so cool, guys. I could just sit here and wander around all day, like I've already done for a good hour and a half with you guys. Like, you never know. You might find something cool just wandering around. So I find a lot of stuff is just by sure walking or driving or looking around somewhere that you wouldn't think that there'd be anything, and bam, there's something. So I think next, before I got distracted there, I think we will go and I'll show you guys the lookout, because the lookout is amazing. What are we doing here? I'm not sure that's how we operate. I didn't know that's a legal parking spot. Yes, it is now. So we'll turn here and we'll go on to the interstate, and I'll show you guys the lookout spot. Hopefully there's good enough reception up there, but it is a pretty cool spot. And it's perfect for right now, which is sunset. because we're just about to sunset here in probably about a half an hour. I feel like we've passed this guy like 3 times already. The Big John's delivery guy. I love how it's Big John's delivery in a little teeny tiny car. So backwards. Such a beautiful afternoon here, and it's not terrible like heat wise. It was pretty nice, the walk was. This way goes out to the freeway. And it also goes to the casino. The casino's way out here on the very edge of town. It used to have a really good buffet. I don't know if it still does. When I was working down here, I used to like eat there a lot. We're going to be perfect timing for the overlook here. The sun's starting to go. The sunset's starting to get real good behind us. You can see we're driving away from the sunset. You guys got a pretty good view right now. So when we flip back around westerly, it's going to be really nice. The sunsets out here are just so impressive. I found so many spots just wandering around out here when I was working over here. Just wandered out some back roads and found stuff because I was down here in my truck. I did find this cool old, I think it was like a church or something out here. It had such a freaking awesome view. There's just wheat fields all around it. It was like so cool. If I end up finding the picture, I'll post it on Instagram for you guys. Or I might just wander out there after we're done and take another picture of it. It is out here by the casino. green building way off there in the distance there is Wild Horse Casino. We're now pretty much on the Indian reservation here. Again, I came out here quite a few times when I was working down here, and it was really awesome. The casino is actually pretty big, and then it had a buffet here, but I don't know if it's still open or not. I might have to look that up because that might be one of my few food options that I might want to do here. Not every day you're down here in Pendleton, Oregon. The spot I found is off of this exit, and you wander out south there, and there's a road that comes back towards town. And I found a little church way out there. It was really cool. So our viewpoint's 5 miles up here. Trust me, it's worth the 5 miles to come up here. They have to drive, I think, 5 more miles to turn around, though. But that's all good. Looks like the hills up here have gotten on fire recently. Find a cool spot up there on those hills. One time I was exploring out here while I was working down here when I first got my truck, my orange truck. But of course we're driving a car, so I can't really do that. So we'll have to use the other viewpoint over here, which will be still pretty good. Hopefully there'll be enough service here to show you guys. Outside of Pendleton, Oregon. Jump to the middle lane here because the trucks are going to be going really slow. Yeah, I know it's been a while. I've had several of them. good to see you here on live. Turn the air conditioning off. This is a Ooh, look at that. That's a view. Okay, keep down. Oh, I can control how fast I go up this hill. Viewpoint, right lane. There's a lot of cool Oregon Trail stuff out here too. This Oregon Trail went by this area. Here's the viewpoint. We passed a couple of things on our way here. Here's our viewpoint. We'll have to get out to show you guys. This is so cool. You guys can see already. Just a pull off of I-84, and you're greeted with this. This is so neat. Check it out. Wow. This is awesome. You can walk over here. I'm sure there's like a little, I think there's an actual view of this little basin here. It is not actually not too windy right now up here, which is kind of amazing. There's a thing about this view is preserved and protected by the efforts of the Oregon Roadside Council, which initiated and secured the passage of the Oregon Scenic Areas Act in 1961. 3,585 scenic miles of highways were surveyed and selected by the council and adopted by the state's Scenic Area Board. More than 7,000 signs and billboards which detracted and obscured scenic vistas were removed. The Oregon Roadside Council, organized in 1932 by the Oregon State Federation of Garden Clubs, is a volunteer group dedicated to the preservation and conservation of Oregon's greatest asset, her scenic beauty. This is so awesome. Man. Oh, there's like a little homestead in the bottom of this basin here. Check that out. That's cool. I wonder if I can get a little bit closer. Doesn't look like I can get any closer than that, guys. Man. What a way to cap off the live stream and the day, man. Nothing like a scenic vista to end your day. Woo! You could see way off in the distance over here. I don't know if you guys could see it on camera, but I can see freaking Mount Hood. I think that's Mount Hood way over there. You can see a freaking mountain from here. Wow. That's amazing. So cool, guys. Well, guys, gonna ride off into the sunset here. So I appreciate y'all checking out our little explore today of Pendleton, Oregon. And you guys know what to do. Smash that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe right here to 509 Adventures, baby, because that's where it's at, my friends. We're edging ever so closer to 1,000 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for supporting me along this journey that I've been on here. And as always, my friends, adventure on, and I'll see you somewhere out here in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time.